There's a little bit of snow that just happened over the last few hours, and hey, it is what it is. It's like right before it gets warmer, we need to remind you that it's still the wintertime. You know. So, with that being said, this is a trail of independence, and for me, although I give a lot of probably potentially inspirational content, motivational, I do my best to try and keep it as positive as possible. A lot of this is selfish, you know, because I did my best to be as selfless as I could. But when I think about it, there was still a selfish price tag to go along with it, you know? So I made strides to remove the price tag. So so if you're selfless and you had a price tag before and now you remove the price tag, are you just selfless now? I don't personally think I'm quite there yet, but because regardless of what the content is and if it's inspirational or not, I'm still doing this for me, you know? So, like, okay, maybe it's unconventional that I talk about I'm not interested in money doing any of this, especially when it comes to YouTube, because most of like what people in general associate YouTube with as far as content creators are concerned is monetization, right? Like if you look around for anyone who talks about YouTube, the idea is to get monetized. And like otherwise, why else would you be doing YouTube? Why else would you be a content creator if you're not trying to get monetized? And that's the furthest thing from my mind. I have no ambition to get monetized whatsoever. But this is like therapeutic release at the same time. So, welcome, by the way, welcome. If you leave a public journal out there and this is how you kind of vent or you talk about whatever you want to talk about, today's the Trail of Independence. And what that means to me, that means it's like any person in life when you're like getting kind of anxious because something's about to happen, it's getting closer. And what's up, CC Motion? And there's absolutely no point whatsoever, random user. There's none. Like sometimes if you said to yourself, your teeth are crooked, random user, and then you said to yourself, like, I want my teeth to be straight. So you put braces on on in your mouth. What was the point? No, I guess I just wanted to have straighter teeth, right? Well, my point is, no, it's not religious. My point is, one day I said to myself, I'm just gonna like grow my beard out, and that's what I did. I mean, I could go deeper as far as like what I was thinking, but it's pretty much that simple. But the anxiety, as I was mentioning, it's like if you, let's say it could be any, it took me about almost 6 years hardcore. And I appreciate the compliment. If you're getting close to anything in life where you're like, uh-oh, I'm starting to feel anxiety. No, I kind of know how to like function with this thing where, when I eat, when I work out, when I sleep, whatever it is, like I'm pretty good. You know, when I pull the zipper up, I make sure like everything is like second nature to me now. So nothing really at this point is a hindrance, you know? And you're getting close to either something, you know? It could be anything, positive, negative. Appreciate that parable. Like, let's just use some examples just to bring some sort of, you know, clarity to this. It could be like, you know, I'm I'm about to get divorced, you know? That's maybe not such a positive one, right? But you're feeling anxiety because you're getting close. Like you're about to, you know, the whole ordeal is about to come and go, right? Or it could be like you just broke up with someone and it's fresh. Or, you know, and I'm starting with a bunch of negatives. Like you know, you have a relative, someone who's very sick and maybe they're terminal, like, you know, stage 4, and it's getting really close, you know, and you're not going to see them again soon, you know. Or let's not be so, you know, morbid, and let's talk about some positives. Like you're about to graduate, you know, college. It could be, you know, undergrad, it could be post grad, it could be high school, it could be you're about to, you know, you're about to get a promotion, you know. This is about to happen soon. And you know, you're feeling that anxiety because it's like this is coming, you know, and it's about to be, it's about to be like it, it's it's there, you know. So when I say my trail of independence, I always say this. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a quick live stream, you know, and then it winds up being like an hour and a half, 2, 3, 4 hours, whatever, right? But you know, I'll do my best to keep this kind of terse and to the point. Usually, I do it in about 10 to 15 minutes, but I'm feeling that right now. I'm feeling that anxiety because I've been saying 2026 is mine. You know, I'm sure it's all of ours, but it's mine. It's like this year is getting annihilated. As far as everything I'm gonna set out to accomplish, it's getting, I accomplish every year. Like every year I'm annihilating each year. But this year, 2026, it was written. It was set in stone many years in advance. Like my name is Bays, so you can call me Bays Stradamus because this is 5 years back. I call 2026. 2026 is my year. And I'm feeling the anxiety, and this is my trail of independence because I'm getting close to milestones where it took me a long time, a lot of trial and error to get to this point of where now it's like I'm here. And anytime you get close to something happening, either negative or positive, you feel that anxiety because you know it's near, you know? And sometime in the future, just like I called the future in the past, so it's like back to the future in a sense, in 2020 and 2021, I said in 2026, it would be mine. You know, we're here now. And now I'm putting this live stream out because years from now, let's say 2033, I want to be able to look back and see this live stream with an American flag behind me because I'm patriotic and an Indian flag in front of me because I probably will be heading in that direction. So now the trail of independence is starting with each goal getting crushed. So in 2033, when I look back, I want to come back to this live stream, Trail of Independence, and just pay attention to how I was feeling at this very moment on January 6th, 3:17 in the morning, and say, oh, wow, that's how he was. He was feeling anxiety. That was me. I was feeling anxiety because I knew it was coming, and this was the beginning, you know? So this green light right here, Cosmic, is it's a DJI 3, excuse me. It's the latest one that came out. It's set at 32-bit float, so it's high quality. It's remote. I can literally go out wherever I want, and you'd be able to hear me. Like I could put this phone right here and I could do this, you know. Can you see me? Can you see me? You see how far I go? Like the remote is crazy. I could go very far. I'm sure you could still hear me. I'm chilling right here on this vehicle. This has got to be like 50 feet away, you know? So I just wanted to demonstrate that to you so you know exactly, what that's about. But yeah, Jesus loves you too, Jeremiah. And yeah, I can go way further than that as well, Cosmic. So I think it's sometimes you invest in certain, anything, pieces of equipment, whatever. This right here, this DJI 3, and it's interesting when I made the purchase, and it's not inexpensive neither. It costs, it costs. And I didn't know about it, but it was so ironic. After I made the purchase, it was like I started seeing them everywhere. And it wasn't just because, oh, I purchased it now, so now I'm noticing it. No, it was like, I guess everyone who kind of like started, it's like, what is that green light? And they probably started doing a little bit of their own research. And then it's like, that sounds good. Okay, I'm a content creator too. Like, maybe I can use that. I'm hearing good things. Listen, this right here, I have no complaints. I have purchased tech before and I've returned them. This right here, I have nothing negative to say whatsoever. It is awesome, So, yeah, Max, people say that all the time, But the ball striker, the beard is definitely a weave. Like I went to one of these hair spots where you get hair ties and like do-rags and stuff like that. It's like a beauty supply store, and they just had one, and it was like kind of like somewhat good quality hair, like from Indian people. So I was like, oh, how much? And then I saw the price tag. I was like, oh, it's almost the friggin' price of my DJI 3. And I was like, you know what? I think it'd be a cool thing to just weave it into my face and like use it as like women use. Cool concept to put it in my face, And that's exactly what I did. So the anxiety I was telling you about is what I want to be able to look back on in 2033 and say to myself in 2026, this is how I was feeling, because I knew it was the beginning of that trail of independence. And that just means every goal in 2026 is getting crushed. Hello to you as well, Rikaya. And yeah, I mean, listen, ball striker, like sometimes like I said, you make investments and they turn out to be awesome investments, and this beard was one of them. It was like, hey, it's hit or miss though, because some people throw up like vomit emojis and say how gross it is. And then there are others that are like, oh, it's badass. It's like crazy Viking, this, it's hit or miss. So I don't mind. And for the people that troll or are negative, like, I mean, what do you want me to do? Let me cut it for you. Let me snip, and then I don't have people saying anything. Excuse me. So I just, yeah, exactly. Like my dad says, you gotta have. There's got to be some sort of character. There's got to be some sort of personality to everything you do. I hear Joe Rogan talk about Connecticut all the time and how he can't stand Connecticut, right? And he says the reason why he can't stand Connecticut is because there's a difference between a person who's been through a lot and they have experiences in life where they have that edge and something about them gives them that character, that personality. But then you have people that live really cushy and grow up that way, and they're so isolated that when you interact with them, it's like they're weird, because it's like you have no experience in life, right? And I kind of understand that, but hey, I guess if the beard sets me apart, it's just another, piece of character, and another character trait that gives me some sort of a personality, like my dad said. But hey, Chuck Walker, Henry, good morning. And happy New Year to you as well. And I appreciate that. Yeah, exactly. Real talk. It's like that's exactly, the name checks out. That's real talk because it's like what am I gonna what am I gonna do? Like you're so interested in telling me how nasty I look, so I should listen to you and be like, oh, it only took about 6 years to grow this thing. So you know what? Shit, this total random stranger is saying you need to cut that beard. You know what? I should listen to you because I don't know you and you're saying how you can't stand my beard. So let me do exactly what you're mentioning and be influenced by you and cut my beard off. Yeah, but you know what, ball striker, if you grew up and that's why I say I kind of understand what Joe Rogan was saying there. Like I don't necessarily agree with like, Hartford and all the different townships and cities and areas of Connecticut that he mentioned that are like he can't stand. Because I've been to Connecticut before, many a time. And although I haven't lived there, I wouldn't say the whole state is not even a state and like the people are all one way. I wouldn't say that about any group of people, any type of religion, any type of political belief, any type of grouping or discrimination of any sort, you know and I just think when it comes to you know people who grow up cushy, hey, it sounds nice, but at the same time, I have also met some, and again, I'm not grouping people the way he has, as like every person who grows up cushy are weird, but like it does. I've witnessed it, and it's almost like, okay, I let's say I just came from the projects in Hunts Point, right, or Melrose in the BX, and then I next minute, or next hour, let's just say, I'm somewhere in like Chappaqua, you know, and like, wow, what a difference. It's like if I'm over here in Melrose in the projects, everyone's like kind of, it's different. But then I'm over here in Chappaqua and it's like totally different. And again, I'm not grouping every person in Melrose a certain way, and I'm also not grouping every person in Chappaqua a certain way, but there's definitely a major difference. And, you know, I just, I would prefer people who have personality, and there's got to be something that sets you apart. And I hope everyone's doing well. Oh, we got a couple comedians here. Leandro, what's going on? How'd I call you out? I don't know how I did that, but yeah. So otherwise, let me just finish my point. Like I was saying, when it comes to this trail of independence, it's, I know I'm getting close. I'm feeling anxiety, and I just I just want to be able to look back on this day, and I just want to make sure I express how I'm feeling, and I'm not nervous. Anxiety is definitely up, but whenever you're getting close to anything, like I said, negative or positive, you feel that anxiety because it's nearing. It's almost like a little bit of uncertainty because it's like, okay, like you don't know exactly when, but you know it's close. You don't know exactly what's going to happen, but you have an idea, and you're just like, oh, I just want this to pass. I just want to move forward, and that's where I'm at right now. And I know this is the very beginning because it's the very beginning of this year, and it's the very beginning for this trail of independence. And I can't wait. And I knew this was going to come. I called it in advance. 2026 is our year. It's my year. And I'm going to continue to annihilate everything that happens this year, goal wise, and achieve greatness. Chuck Walker, I wish you the best on that. You come over here and, you know, if, if, if you're going to get a job here, that's amazing. You know, what's interesting is, so I was a person who grew up, talk about like, isolation and all of that type of stuff. I'm not gonna say I grew up cushy or isolated or any of that, but I am a person who was, like I said, I'm a patriot. I'm born and raised in New York, and I never really engaged in anything correlated to, like, let's just say, for example, you're Polish or you're Ukrainian, right? And your parents are immigrants and you're a first generation, you know, Ukrainian American, right? Your parents speak the language. Your parents are still, you know, well, they're still Ukrainian, you know? They moved here. So it's like everything about them is like traditionally Ukrainian. But they lived here now for like 30, 40 years, whatever it is. And you, as a first generation American, feel like either you chose to be like deeply involved with your culture or you were just really American, you know? And me personally, no, I can't do that, Chuck Walker. I mean, like, I'm not giving jobs out. In fact, I'm dissolving my LLC and I'm stepping away from my investment properties. So, yeah, I'm definitely not the one to do any of that. Um, Michael, Goonie Goo Goo is like a term. It's like a phrase you say when you want to, like, let's say you're about to do something nasty and right before you do it, it's like your mating call. You go, Goonie Goo Goo. That's what you do right before you do something nasty. That's what that is. But yeah, I mean, the 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 beard is something I leave it be, cuz I used to be on my, like, metrosexual pretty boy thing, and it just got to the point where I was tired of shaving and tired of putting designs in my damn face and carving, all this stuff on a regular basis. And I said, you know what? I'm just gonna let everything go, you know? And that's exactly what I did. I said, screw it, And I'm looking back, I'm like, oh, what an awesome decision, you know? I don't have to worry about, listen, haircuts were like 10 to 20 bucks. They're like 40, $50 now. That's nuts. A lineup, a shape up, these things are ridiculous. Like how they charge for that. And it's not just the money, it's just the upkeep, the maintenance. It's like you're constantly like, oh, I gotta get a cut. I gotta get a cut. I don't feel right. I don't look presentable. Screw that. Like I'm now at a point where it's like I don't even think about. That's like I got electric, right? I'm not looking back. I don't even know what the price of a gallon is right now. And I don't invest in oil neither. So it's like when you make certain decisions that are like game changers, you don't even like it's like the markets. When you really start getting involved in the markets and you start investing, you can't unsee what you now know correlated to, let's say, inflation. It's like on a global level, when you understand what's happening, you can't unsee that. You know too much now. And that's how it really is when it comes to like a lot of what's going on, you know? Nah, man. If you want to wear Jordans and you're 76 years old, you wear Jordans. You know? Like who's going to tell you it's weird? A hater? If you want to wear freaking stilettos at 89, wear stilettos. You know? Who cares what anyone thinks? Frank, what's up? How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. And yeah, I mean, listen. Sometimes you gotta, you know, what itches your neck, ball striker? You talking about facial hair? Yeah, I mean, listen. You want to wear like whatever type. I mean, listen. Me personally, I'm not wearing Jordans, Adidas, Saucony, Nike, any of them. I have my own brand. Like I said, I'm dissolving my LLC, but I'm keeping my logo, right? Just have it trademarked. Just I'm creating my own sneakers. Not because I want to sell them, because I want to rock my own one of ones. So if anyone's like, "Oh, those are dope," like, where do you get them? You can't. I created them. I made them. What's that logo? That's me. That's me. That is me. It's my logo. A guy, a figure running in flames. So, you know, I strap that on wherever I want to strap it on. And that's what I'm gonna be rocking, you know? And I got 3 logos, homie. So don't worry about what I need to do as far as that. Or do you design logos? Do you design them? Since I need to get a better one, you tell me. I have 3 of them. That's one of them. But anyways, when it comes to like, that's just me. You want to wear Jordans and Nikes and Adidas, you should do so and not worry about what anyone says, you know? And if you know, are a great creator of logo, then that's awesome. But me personally, like I said, I have multiple logos, and I could use any one of them, and they have different purposes. So I will just use my own stuff, you know, and I'll just create my own stuff until it gets to a point where it's like, yeah, this is so refined and so fire that it's like I said with the electric and investing in the markets. It's like once you make certain game changes, you can't unsee things, and you can't go back. It's like you've already forayed into a certain, you know, trail of independence, and it's like, why would I go back? The only thing I would go back to is America, because I love New York. Sounds like a slogan, right? It is, but it's true. And I'm a patriot, so I'm coming back to New York. If I'm heading to India, I'm coming right back to New York because I love New York. I might stay, it's tropical, so I might stay there in November, December, January, and February, come back in March or April. Enjoy the summer out here, you know? And it all starts with that trail of independence. And when that happens and it hits properly, know that I didn't just make that happen from just, you know, living a cushy life or it being luck. I positioned myself a certain way to make that happen. And it was not easy. It was extremely difficult, you know? And as far as the logo, like, bro, I'm sure my beard could be done way better than this and me not walk around with a messy beard. But for me, it's like, I'm good, brother. I'm good, you know? And as far as this logo is, this is one of 3, right? And there's like variations of each logo, right? And yeah, can the gradients change? Can the shape change? Can I simplify it? Can I make it more complex? I can do all of that. But as far as me being good, I'm good. So I'll just, when it comes to, you know, creating my own sneakers or my own shirts or my own hoodies or my own shoes or slacks, whatever, I just want a one-on-one. A one-on-one where I don't have to like, I'll never meet that owner. I don't know who the CEO is. So why am I supporting this person when I could just do it myself? I'd rather support local people that do this type of thing. I go to them personally and it's like, look, this is what I want. This is how I want it. And then over time, I create a wardrobe for myself. You know, obviously, you got to get to a certain point to where you can make all of this happen. And it starts with a trail of independence. You know, yeah, I have my own brand, AT. Like this brand right here has been in effect for over 7 years, attached to an LLC, which I pay taxes on for a long time. And I'm dissolving that. So I can just keep the logo. And because where I'm from around here, I have multiple zip codes that know what that logo is. When they see this, 10701, 10703, 10710, 10705, they know what this is. So it already has history to where it's like they know what the figure running in flames is. You know? So for me it's like I just want to keep it going, but just not the business of it. I may buy some of this and gift people for, you know, whatever they want, but they can't purchase it anymore anyways. I don't want to sell anything to anyone. I don't want to accept money from anyone for anything, period. And you won't ever be able to send money this way in this platform. You won't ever get the opportunity to do a super chat here. It's not ever going to happen. You won't ever get the opportunity to purchase anything, to be a part of. I'm in the Bronx, but I'm not from the Bronx. I went to school in the Bronx, but I'm not from the Bronx. But, you know, I learned with time that I just don't want to accept money anymore from anyone, period. You're bragging right now, ball striker, you know, with 74 degrees. It was snowing like literally 2 hours ago over here. And yeah, I might take you up on that, you know. I might just say, you know what? I'm coming to Florida, ball striker, you know, provided an invitation. And he said, you know, this is what it is. And you're welcome. Okay. Really? Am I? Okay, I'm going to take you up on that. Let's see how that is, because I want to know what 74 degrees is like in January, in the middle of winter, you know, because I don't know anything about that. But I could imagine, because I have friends and family living in West Palm Beach and Broward and Miami-Dade, and I could imagine what that's like, you know. So, yeah, it's immaculate. That sounds amazing, actually. Yeah, that's nuts. You know. Meanwhile, we're over here in thermals and crazy layers, and still freezing. Like my outer extremities are undergoing near frostbite. You know. But like I said, I got the flag in front of me, but I got the native flag on me, you know? So that trail of independence is heading towards the tropics, but I forever keep the native flag on me, you know? It doesn't matter where the motherland is, as long as the native flag stays with me and on me. So that's just what it comes down to. I bring the native flag with me anywhere I go. Oh, Tahiti. I would listen. If folks are just going to give me these invitations, I'm going to take every single one up. And be like, hopefully I don't, run into some, like, if what if Joe Rogan was saying is actually true about cushy folks, from Connecticut. But hey, I'm willing to find out. But yeah, that's kind of nuts. If it gets near 100 degrees for that amount of time, that's 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 pretty nuts. At, yes I am. I, I'm Z. Are you asking a question I'm not able to give you an answer to? I I don't know. Maybe LLT. I don't know what I said. Maybe I said LLC. I don't know what LLT is. I don't know if you're asking me neither, but LLC is what I said. Like if you were asking when I said I was going to dissolve my LLC, LLC, Limited Liability Corporation. But no, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I've ever been to Chi-Town, but I can't remember. I know my dad's been there, but yeah, I need to like. I'm not a fan of like cold or like cold and wind, but I just uh I just want to head to the tropics. That's just what it comes down to, you know? I need to make sure I make that move and don't ever have to go through this again. I'm not a fan. These brutal, harsh, extreme teens out here, like, 13 degrees, 17 degrees. Sometimes it gets into the single digits. Like, come on now. No. Genetically, I'm not, it's just not for me, you know? But yeah, I cut my, look at that. See that? I sliced my finger. It was like bugging me right now. Hey, 2033, I look back, at 37 minutes, and it'd be like, yeah, I sliced my finger, and I'm going through that right now too. So if you're watching me, Bays, right now, you'll probably have like more gray hairs in your face when you watch me. This is me, talking to you in 2033, but it's 2026 right now. I still got some dark hairs on my face. You probably have like a really grayed out face, like where you're at right now. You know, yeah, I'm about 50 years old. At, yeah. I mean, ball striker, Florida is definitely subtropical. It's near. I would say probably the Keys. Like when you go to um, what is it? Which one is it? Key West? I think it's Key West. That's like the closest thing we have besides. Yeah, I hear that a lot, At. I mean, that's a good thing, right? But I think the Keys, Key West, is the closest thing in the continental states to near tropical or like borderline tropical, you know? Yeah, I work out. If you go through this channel, you'll see. Like I tend to like push a lot of like the Trinity, I like to call it, which is fitness, music, and wildlife. So these are the things you'll see throughout this channel. And yeah, as far as working out is concerned, I think that's very important. You should work out. You should practice good habits. Yeah, so like if we're not including Hawaii, then I would say Key West is probably the closest thing we have to tropical weather in the states, in the continental states anyway. And NYC has tropical summers, and surprisingly, we actually do have a lot of like what you would think are tropical wildlife out here. and people are not aware of. Like we have parrots out here, like wild. We have parrots out here, we have parakeets, we have lizards, we have skinks, we have certain snakes, we have certain creatures you wouldn't even think are actually out here in the wild, and they find ways to survive the winter, you know? But San Diego is, yeah, that's I wouldn't call it tropical. I would say maybe subtropical Mediterranean, you know? But the only thing about it is like it's borderline Mediterranean desert. So this the cold in the nighttime temperatures are a little off-putting, you know? That's the only thing. For a otherwise like pleasant climate, it's just that cold in the nighttime, you know? Yeah, exactly. That's the thing about it, you know? If it was just a little warmer and it didn't have that like desert thing to it, like Baja California, Tijuana, and how it's just the arid environment that's there, you know? Um, what is your question, AT? As far advise someone in their early 30s about what? What are you asking? Rikaya, hopefully not mispronouncing or butchering your name, but what do you mean like 15 people in the chat? Like, you know, as far as this channel is concerned, so it's 3:51 in the morning where I'm at, right? This is one. This is a shorts, meaning vertical live stream. So you have to understand that the audience in general are very much like TikTok or Snapchat. It's very like low attention span. If I'm not doing something, crazy or like very entertaining, then the attention span is like, flip, it's off. So I started last year, 2025, with 100 subs, and in 1 year I went up to almost 1,400. So I don't know if that's good or not. It seems like it's because I've been in this, like I said, I have my own business, and I was in throughout social media, including YouTube, and I wasn't getting any subs. And this was attached to my business. And I was doing nice edited videos and all that, and I was like nothing was happening. But then when I like said to myself, let me focus on YouTube here and like not expect anything and just be myself and just let it fly. Like whatever I feel, it worked, you know? Like I said, 100 subs to almost 1,400 in a year. That was last year. I did it in 1 year, right? So this is all like new. Now, everything I just broke down to you as far as like 15 people in the chat or whatever like that, it like I said, it's related to attention spans. It's related to the format here. Because if I went like this and I put it in long format, like horizontal, it would probably have even less people. But in general, those people would probably it'd be a different crowd, you know? And that's in general. I think with time, because you have to be patient, I'm sure 8 or 11 or 15 people in this chat, regardless of the time, will, maybe next year, let's say January 2027, there's like 5,000 subs or 7,000 subs. So instead of like 7 or 11 or 15 people in the chat, maybe we have 50, we have 80, you know, I'm sure it'll be a little marked difference, hopefully in a positive way. And you just got to give it time. But, yeah, that's that. What do you, I'm just trying to I'm just trying to figure out like exactly, like, pinpoint specifically what you're trying to ask, you know? Like it's a very general question, you know, as a man, like what do you mean? What do you mean like like wisdom wise in general, what exactly are you like I'm trying to like pinpoint exactly what you're trying to get at. But well, okay, bro. Women, I don't know how old you are, but I think here's a bit of advice for you, right? Because there's always, like I said, there's always going to be trolling and negative energy all around you, right? The thing about women, and if you're a heterosexual man, then you should, you know, I'm sure you know, you sound like you're a younger man, and I get it, but I think the most important thing for you to pay attention to is making sure you are working on you. Make sure you are the strongest version of you before you get distracted. You know, I know that sounds like I'm like giving you like mom and dad advice right now, but it's the truth. For the amount, and I'm telling you like from experience. So this is the wisdom you're asking about in general, right? Because you brought up like women, right? I would say work on making sure, because once you get to a certain point, you wouldn't ever ask that question. You would never ask that question. You wouldn't ask like how do I, you know, with the ladies, or like that wouldn't even come out, because you would be so sure of yourself and how powerful and valuable you are as an asset to any situation you're in, that it wouldn't even matter. Like you're not chasing anyone. Like you're not even concerned. Like they will gravitate to your energy, you know? And that's what I think you should focus on. You should focus on basically making sure like you present yourself in the strongest possible way, physically, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, financially. Make sure your health is on point, your habits are on point. Make sure everything is top tier all the way up. And when that happens, you'll be so confident that it doesn't even matter like what little insecurities you have, because you'll just be working on them because you worked on everything else anyways. So they're just, like I said, 2026 is my year, right? Why? Because I already know one by one, each goal is getting attacked and obliterated. It's the same thing. Just work on it, you know? Just work on every single thing. And these ladies will come right to you. Doesn't matter like what woman is not feeling you, because there's going to be, you know, a whole half a world of women that are out there that may potentially feel you, you know? So I wouldn't say, you know, like even worry about any female right now. Just worry about strengthening you in the meantime, in the interim, you know? Yeah, Kyle, that's exactly correct. You know, like women are attracted to men who exude confidence in everything they do. They simply are, because it's like that man is, he's flowing masculine energy because he's sure about himself, you know? So they're attracted to that. It's not the beard, it's not the height, it's not all these little things that people obsess over. You know, all of those things help, obviously, the height, the looks, the money, all of these things. But it's really about what you have up here and how you apply that to everything that involves you and your path. So that's really the wisdom I have for you. And like Leandro said, there are lots of, and it's not just it's not just women or men. It's just anyone. Every Everywhere around you, there are distractions. You can, for example, to become financially free, it's not just, oh, I need a high paying job. And then with that job, I'm able to, become financially free because I get the house, I got the vehicles, I got, no, it's literally the sacrifices you make, the discipline on a day-to-day basis, just like your physique. How do I have, before I just recently started talk about quality, right? Like if you pay attention to what's going on, you'll see the quality right in front of you. Like one post will be about how much a hex bar is of value as far as with positioning of your scapula and your elbows for doing deadlifts as opposed to a traditional grip, right? Because you're using a neutral grip, right? The quality is right there, straight up. You'll go from that to, various forms of, because some things are like, they bore certain people, and that's fine because they're munching on popcorn watching the person who's doing it from the bleachers, and they're leading with hateful energy, but if you go through the content, you'll see quality right in front of you. You just have to see the message and understand what's being put out. And I just think, as far as the distractions are concerned, it takes a lot of discipline and sacrifice to be able to excel. What I was saying, the calisthenics, and before the calisthenics and the resistance, most recently, how was I just walking and holding a 6, 8, and 10 pack all year round? I wasn't even training. I was just walking. I was just getting steps. How? Because it involved the sacrifices and the discipline from not being distracted on a day-to-day basis. That's how I did it. So when I got back into calisthenics and I started getting back into the gym and pushing weights again, now I'm building lean muscle mass again. I was already defined just by getting steps. Why? Because of the sacrifice and the discipline. So you do the same thing when it comes to, say, financial matters for financial freedom. It's not the job. It's not the high-paying job. It's not the mortgage. It's not the cars. It's what you do every single day. The sacrifices and the discipline to not be distracted. No, I'm not going to go to Dunkin' Donuts. No, I'm not going to go to Starbucks. No, I'm not going to buy that latest gadget, that latest tech. Although this was a great investment, but I'm not going to get distracted. And then you chip away, your debt goes down to 0, your credit score stays high because you're responsible. You use every little last bit of money that you have remaining to invest. And before you know it, because of those sacrifices and that discipline, it's inevitable. So, yeah, so as far as women are concerned, and or like, whatever, if you're a man, or if you're into men, or if you're into women, or if you're into both, like you should just give it time, after you become your own best version of yourself. Martine, how you doing? Welcome. This is called the DJI 3. You know, it's the microphone. Yeah, it's a mic. Yeah. So, I mean, that's really it when it comes to, this trail of independence, and making sure, we have something to look back on in the future. 2033, 2026, January 6th, 4:04 in the morning, and it's like, you know, feeling anxiety, but it's only the beginning, and it's a beautiful thing. And yeah, on that note, if anyone has anything else to say, feel free. But that was really, I do this every single time. I say it's going to be a quick live stream, and it doesn't ever fail, winds up becoming an hour, you know. But yeah, AT, good to meet you, and I appreciate your time. Value everyone's time here, and thank you all for checking in and chiming in, and whether it's trolling energy or positive energy, it doesn't matter, And I appreciate everyone stopping by, coming through, and checking out this live stream on this trail of independence, because it's only the beginning, and I can't wait, you know. Oh, okay. Yeah. Likewise, Ball Strike. I thank you for chiming in as well. And yeah, just do your best to not be distracted. Be your strongest version, you know? Yeah, that's crazy, Alicia. That's definitely a first, Maybe it's the shadows, I don't know. But that sounds crazy, you know? That sounds like a that sounds like a that sounds like something crazy, you know? But yeah, hey, thank you for checking in. Greetings to you. Hopefully your day is going well. I don't know where you're reporting from, or what time it is, or what's going on over there. But I'm reporting from Yonkers, New York, right on the border of the Bronx, back and forth between the Bronx and Yonkers. And yeah, we're about an hour in, you know. Had a good one, as usual. I enjoy these, you know. I enjoy doing these live streams. And Colorado, okay, yes, that sounds awesome, you know. I think Colorado sounds like a beautiful place with the landscape that is, the Rockies, fly fishing, the the wildlife, the terrain, like I said. It all sounds like quite gorgeous, you know. I think that's another place I want to make sure I visit at some point, Colorado. And I enjoy doing these live streams because, I get perspectives from people in real time. That's awesome. Because hopefully people are able to learn something from me, and I'm able to get something from others. You know, um, I don't actually know, Alicia. I don't know. I have no idea because I don't have too much experience with that. So I'm sure if I had company, and someone was teaching me something, then it would probably be enjoyable. But as far as like me just randomly doing it by myself, maybe if it's warm, I could get something out of it, you know, because I'm very curious. So it might be interesting if the temperature's right and you know then it would be like, okay, this is a different experience, and then I would be like, okay, you know, I can dig this, you know. Random, how you doing? Hopefully everything's good with you, and welcome, greetings to you. But yeah, that's really it, you know. Like I said, in 2033, I'm going to look back at this right here, and say, you know, happy birthday to Gabe Owners, you know, the brother of Random Grenade, you know. Oh, okay, that's cool. Your dad does that. That sounds awesome. I would definitely do something like that, you know. But it would have to be the right situation at the right time, you know. Flex, it's you? Is it really Flex Brim? Lowrider Brim? MB Sleaze G5? It's you. It really is you. Yeah, to Gabe Owners. That's what I just said. Happy birthday, Gabe Owners. You know? That's who it was out to. So I appreciate you, Alicia. You know? Thank you for that. And what's so funny, Yellow Teeth? I can see your name checks out, man. I see you cheesing over there crazily right now. Hey, thank you. But yeah, you know, this sucks though, man. Look at that. I cut myself. I was cutting sweet potatoes just like a couple hours ago and cut my damn finger. It's annoying me right now. Happy birthday, Gabe Owners. Yeah, Gabe Owners. Gabe Owners. Or gay boners. Or gay boners. But yeah. I just you know, it's sometimes like I always say, if people are you know, using their brains in witty ways, and it's ha ha he he, then it's cool. You know, it's like I can definitely do that. I could take jokes, I could play along, and yeah, you know, that's what you should do, you know? And then that's totally straight. But when people just come out like just negative out the gate and it's just nasty and like whack with your energy, it's like I think it's best to just swerve that type of energy, you know? But if it's like, at least if you're using your brain in clever ways, and then it's like I got him, you know, cool. I'll do that all day, you know, even if I'm the one that got, you know? But yeah, I don't know. 1800s, Alicia, that's like a very long time ago, you know? That's like the US was like not like barely on the map as far as like, a country of influence. So that's like maybe 1900s, but 1800s? You just took it like like a ridiculous amount of like centuries back. that's that's OD, you know? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know, random. That's how it should be, you know? Like I said, even if I'm the one that's got, that's fine. As long as people, you know, like you should be tasteful in the way you gig on someone. Sometimes people just, I don't know, just I just sometimes I see it, I sense it, the vibe is off, and I'm just like, yeah, I think I'm gonna just swerve you, because it's like 1875. Listen, I know there's schools that like they're so old that that's like when they first came into effect as a school, like a university or whatever. But yeah, it's strange with this internet thing, you know? It's just strange how people are, like they are this way when they're anonymous. And then they say, "Oh, I'll do it to your face." No, you won't. Because you wouldn't do that. Like, you wouldn't just randomly go to a person, a stranger, and start saying wicked, nasty things. Like, who does that? Like, who does that? No one. You only do that here because you're anonymous on the keyboard, on your phone or your keyboard. You don't just go to people and just say nasty things about them. Like, you don't even know them. Like, nobody does that. And if you do that, like, there's probably something kind of wrong with you, But like you said, the internet, it's like just so many people feel like, oh, let me just say something nasty about this person I don't even know. Let me jump into because I'm not really a comedian, I generally speak about I do my best to talk about positive things and things that like could potentially uplift others, and like maybe there's some sort of experience and wisdom there. So if a person just comes in and is nasty, it's like, it's weird, I don't get it, but I don't think it's meant for me to get neither. I think it's just meant for me to swerve, because I can't relate to it. I don't want to relate to it. I just repel it. Yeah, so people that are that way, which unfortunately, you know, like Random said, there are a lot of people like that, and unfortunately, it's like herd mentality. It's actually, in my opinion, quite low IQ if you really think about it, because it's like, I don't know, like, what are you, a freaking adolescent, and you're like a 40-something-year-old man, or a 50-year-old woman, like. It's weird. It's really weird. Anyways, yeah, exactly. That's exactly correct. There's no threat of repercussions. Like, you know how they say keyboard warriors? It's like, yeah, like so many people are like that. Because it's like I said, you just wouldn't do that in the streets. You wouldn't do that in a public setting, in a private setting, to a stranger. Like, if you're walking by a person, right? Let's just say you're in a department store, if you're in a building and you've never seen this person before, would you just walk up to them? They're in a conversation, you butt into the conversation and you say, "Hey, I don't like the way your nose looks. I think your face is nasty looking." Like, who does that? No one. So it is. I mean, it is what it is. Martine, like, what is there to say about scammers? I just know in 2026, me personally, I'm trying to push towards positive energy. And I just know it doesn't pay to be a scammer. Like, if you're a scammer, you might think it pays, but it doesn't. It really doesn't. It doesn't pay whatsoever. You're just getting like a short term lick. And then boom, like now it turns into an addiction because, oh, you just got one off. Oh, you got over on someone. Now I can do it again. It's just one of those times you're going to get hit. And when you get hit, there's going to be a lot of, like we were talking about, there's going to be a serious threat of a repercussion for your actions. And how you get hit, you're going to get hit hard. Depending on what that scam is, it sure as hell was not worth it. Because chances are you did it because you were trying to scam for some money, and that's not the way to go about it. It just isn't. Yeah, and Leandro, that's why I do my best to just swerve that type of energy. It's like, you know, I just, people ask, like, okay, sometimes people ask like funny style questions, and these are the same type of questions that come out over and over again. Like, I don't, I'm the type of person, I'm not going to es- escalate any situation. Like, if you are trying to be a tough person, like, oh, you're on your tough time, guess what? I'm swerving you. I'm not going to escalate the situation because you think you're tough. I'm just going to swerve you and walk the other way. Because, like we were talking about scammers, right? A scammer, it's like, it makes absolutely no sense. Likewise, if you're, Mr. or Mrs. Tough person, that's the type of energy I have to swerve. I don't want to be around that. And if you're trying to pick a fight, if you're trying to do anything along a negative path of energy, that's not where I want to be. I don't that energy is not attractive to me. So I just I want to swerve. I want to go in the opposite direction, you know? So yeah, scammers, there's so many different type of scammers, like in so many different ways, and it's just like you got to be careful with, you know, like what you're engaging in. um it could be anything. It could be your email, could be, yeah, I don't know exactly what that's there. I'm not exactly sure um what that is, but I wish I could type in here too, and I think I actually need some sort of an app to make that happen. I don't know why YouTube doesn't allow me to type. Because, yeah, okay, I'm talking, but I'd like to type periodically as well. But yeah, like I said, I'm just leaving all that type of. I'll de-escalate before I raise the temperature on these type of people, that are just purposely trying to, destroy. Like, they're bringing destructive energy. It's you don't want to escalate that. You don't want to bring that up, you know? So that's how I feel about like what we're talking about here. I don't want any parts of that right there, you know? But listen, I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to say, you know, salute, and till the next time. I value everyone's time. Thank you for checking in, and wherever you're at, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, your night, and or your evening, your morning, and yeah, I don't know who you're talking to, Leandro. I don't know if you both are talking to one another, but yeah, that's really it. Like I said, I do this all the time. I say I'm gonna come in here and do a quick little live stream, and then it winds up going into like, you know, damn near an hour and a half, hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes. Doesn't ever fail. But I have fun. I enjoy doing these, and like I said, I thank you for your time and checking in, and we'll do this again shortly. You know, and catch y'all later.